Code switching. You've probably heard it before. If you live in New York and visited your local bodega, you probably have heard this phenomenon being referred to as Spanglish. However, in the field of speech-language pathology, we look at code switching with a more analytical lens. To better understand what code switching is, why it occurs, and how we should respond to it, let's first take a look at the population in which it occurs, bilinguals. What is bilingualism? Bilingualism is the efficacy to speak, write, and understand two or more languages. There are several ways of acquiring a second language, but the main way is through exposure. There are two types of bilinguals: simultaneous bilinguals, who are exposed to and learn two languages from birth or shortly after, and sequential bilinguals are those who learn a second language after they have already acquired one language. Developing children can benefit from learning more than one language, specifically those with delays, because there is not proof that being bilingual affects our learning process or meeting a milestone.
Code switching is when people use two or more languages within the same conversation. It usually occurs more in the bilingual community, meaning the people that speak more than one language are more likely to code switch than monolinguals. Although code switching can happen in writing, it more likely than not occurs in a conversation. There are two different types of code switching: intersentential and intrasentential. Intersentential is when code switching occurs among different sentences in a conversation.
For example, in Spanish, Student A: My professor gave me a good grade. Student B: ¿Qué te dio? Student A: Me dio una A.
In Moroccan Arabic, Student A: I'm going to the park. Student B: شنو غادي دير تما? Student A: I'm going to play soccer with my friends. Here's another example of intersentential code switching taking place within a conversation.
How are finals going? Ay, estoy muy cansada. Ya tuve dos exámenes. But how are you doing? I'm fine. Trying to get through the week. I've been up all night. I totally understand. Vamos a hacer algo este fin de semana para celebrar el fin de semestre. Sí, eso suena muy bien. Vamos para la discoteca el sábado. Sounds great. See you then.
Intrasentential code switching is when code switching occurs within one sentence. There are different ways in which intrasentential code switching can be represented. For example, phrase insertion, which is when the first half of the sentence is in one language and the second half is in a different language.
I will have to go to school tomorrow porque todavía me falta un final.
We need to go food shopping. خصنا المنادى اليوم. Word insertion is when you include one word in a different language in a sentence that was spoken in another.
Let's go to the park a jugar like we used to.
Did you طبع the application, which means did you print the application in Moroccan Arabic? Multiple switches is when you switch back and forth between two languages within a sentence.
I was looking at him como si nada to see if he could tell me the truth, porque yo ya la sabía.
I need to مشي للحانوت for a couple of things بحل ما. Switch at a clause boundary is when you start off a sentence in one language, then after the clause you continue in another language.
After my brother got home, él comenzó su tarea.
شنو درتي اليوم? Did you have fun? Here's another example of intrasentential code switching in a conversation.
¿Qué vas a hacer para Christmas? Voy a estar con mi familia y vamos a comer all night. Qué bien. I'm thinking about sleeping over en la casa de mi prima. Bueno, I'm gonna stay home o a salir por ahí.
So why do we code switch anyways? Code switching is used when the speaker is trying to express ideas that may be difficult to express in one language, or that is unique to one or the other language, which is why they often switch from their second language to their first language. Their first language is often what comes to mind first because it is typically the language that they are most proficient in. We also code switch when establishing solidarity, meaning we identify with a group of people and we express that through language. By doing this, we exclude others from conversation.
In general, the ability to speak in two languages is mostly common in the United States, especially in states like Texas, California, New York, and Florida, among others. According to the American Community Survey, more than 1 in 5 individuals over the age of 5, that's 21%, speak a language other than English at home. Thus, code switching has become a normal occurrence in American media. Code switching can be found in many different places, such as advertisements, like you can see in these examples. In a Dr. Pepper billboard, they say 23 sabores blended into one extraordinary taste, and salida, or exit, in the next picture. We can also find it in music. For example, in the song Loca from Shakira, Promise from Romeo Santos, and Livin' La Vida Loca from Ricky Martin. In Livin' La Vida Loca, the singer says, upside, inside out, she's livin' la vida loca. She'll push and pull you down, livin' la vida loca. This type of code switching is called intrasentential, which is code switching within the sentence as we learned previously. We can also find code switching in television programs and movies, such as in this clip from the movie Sankey Panky.
Take it easy, take it easy. Que este pollo ya está frito. Take it easy. Goodbye.
Mr. Gennaro.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. What's this?
Surprise, sorprendida. Lo que pasa es que estamos organizando el día del pollo. Chicken day.
Oh,
Chicken day.
Chicken day.
Chicken day.
Chicken day.
Chicken day.
Chicken day.
Eso mismo, chicken day.
There are multiple benefits of code switching. One of the benefits of code switching is that constant switching between two languages provides exercise for the brain, which can result in a cognitive boost for bilinguals. One big advantage is that children are able to communicate effectively. They are able to express themselves more freely, and they may also code switch to people who they are more comfortable with. Code switching makes communication easier for some people because it makes talking about a specific thing easier. Children can also borrow words from their dominant language to fully convey what they want to say. Children should be linguistically competent in both languages, so they might know the grammar structure of one language better than the other, but they are still able to communicate effectively. They don't say random things, they say the first thing that comes to mind. So what does this mean in terms of the development of a child, and what should we do if we find a child uses code switching? Code switching is a typical pattern among bilinguals and is not a cause for concern. If we find that a child is code switching, we shouldn't reprimand them or tell them to only speak one language, and we shouldn't tell parents to do that either. Code switching is a communicative resource used to express ideas, events, or things unique to one language or the other. Bilingual children may be drawn to pull from both languages if full proficiency in both languages has not yet been achieved. Most bilingual children will adapt to monolingual social situations, if given the time and the support that they need. Code switching is also shaped by social norms. Children whose language or social behaviors differ from the mainstream shouldn't be singled out. As professionals, we should familiarize ourselves with the social norms and language patterns of the children we encounter through observation, interviews, and even home visits. If there are significant differences in a child's social norms and those of a new setting, then we can take the appropriate measures to help them adjust. Finally, code switching is a reflection of cultural identity, and this cultural identity should be nurtured as it is an intrinsic part of an individual. If a child needs help developing social skills and cultural understanding of the majority culture, we can help them to do so, but should not try to take away their cultural identity in the process.